Okay, Aquarius. This is your Sagittarius December reading for 2023. Information to work with me one-on-one is below. Sorry, there is something in my eye. We're good. I was going to start over. And the extended version to this reading will be in the first link below, which will be on Patreon. All the extendeds are there, but they each will be below, and give it about 24 hours before the extended comes out. Thank you so much. And let's just get right into your reading. Ooh. 8 of Swords in Sag season. Starting in Sag season, we should say. It's so funny because one of the cards where a person is blinded by something have been coming up. So it looks like we've all been blinded by something, each sign in their own way, right? So it's not just you. But if you have, now to get a little more serious, if you have found that you've been a little bit more blinded than normal, I guess it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if it's because you don't want to focus on or tend to your own garden, tend to your own life, tend to the things that need tending to, then it's not so much a great thing. If your mind or whatever emotions were brought up that struck your mind and you feel like you can't get out of that certain place, it's really important that as you maybe turn in and find the internal gratitude for all that you have around you and all that you've created, then maybe you can create some boundaries around that as well. Maybe it's not that you don't have them, it's maybe that they need to be a little different. Maybe they need to be tightened. Maybe you need to have a conversation with someone who can help you make those make more sense for your life now. Hold on one second. Just wanted to let some more light in. And maybe you needed to run it by someone who knows you and who knows your value, right? You can't just talk to anyone unless it's a person that's completely open to the situation. But sometimes, or someone who knows their own value, I should say, too, and open to the situation. And normally we don't know that unless you really get to know someone or you are able to observe someone long enough. During this season, you'll get this chance to. However, also remember that if you are deciding to focus on this, you'll have moments to experience this in your life this month. So if you find that people are reacting to you differently, or you're finding that people are very reactive, or they are saying things a little unhinged, Sagittarius season, or just know that one thing's for sure is that not taking it personally, but also not letting it affect you. And if it is, being willing to say something constructive in the moment or have a constructive conversation. This month is going to ask for your voice a little bit more in terms of maybe you do need to ask for some help. Maybe this person helps remind you of the parts of yourself and who you are, and that's all you needed in order to move forward in the ways that you are being called to at the moment. And maybe that is where in relationships in that way. And then we have the Temperance card, where you using your voice and being active with how your mind and your emotions are, being actively aware and curious, compassionate, and loving towards the parts of you that need to find an outlet. There's some kind of outlet externally where you may realize that you want to be heard and seen by people in this specific way. This month, especially during this Mars transit, Mars in Scorpio or Mars in Sagittarius, you can find that there is more freedom in the way that you think and speak, in the way that you act. There's a little bit more leeway, there's a little bit more play as well. But what you recognize is that people are listening. That may be what you wanted, and then you're like, I don't know. Well, no, keep going with it, because that's probably where the medicine is, if you're looking for some medicine. If you really do want to see what this blind spot is, or have it be known to you and learn from it. Learn to know what it needs in the time of need. Because this season, there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of people who are very focused too on, some will be focused on seeing you, trying to catch you in a moment of maybe vulnerability. For those people who are worthy of seeing you in that moment and in moments like of that sort. I think I have something, maybe, sorry. Then those are the people who are lucky to be around in the moments that maybe you need them, right? You don't want just anyone around. You don't need just anyone around for you and what it is that you are going through in this moment. You may also find that there's a part of yourself that you have been awakened to once again. It's not something you don't know of yourself, but it is a more grounded, playful side of yourself that for a while may have felt caught in what externally isn't there yet. And Sagittarius season, if anything, will always make you come to the feeling that you have when you're around people, the feeling that you have within yourself, and how you move from that feeling or how you try to avoid it, right? This is a fire season. Most, not all, Sagittarius, as I know, are very warm-blooded. They run hot. So they really feel full in that way most of the time. However, air signs, none that I know of, live in that way, right? So, and it's not that you can't, but during this season, you're being brought down. Another air card, another sword card. You're being brought into yourself in a way where there's a huge theme going on about taking your power back. There are places, again, these places that maybe you've been resistant to, but ultimately are your greatest medicine during this time, because you're confronting things that have been maybe in your mind or have just piled up. Like, you're like, I'll get to it later, I'll get to it later, I'll get to it when I have time to do all of this, to think about it, to redirect it, to put it into my life, to make it a full concept. But you don't always have, or you don't always have the time. And when we're processing or when we're living our lives, like, you have to create the time. So now you're noticing that you do need to create the time for yourself to really implement what it is that you are feeling yourself blossom into. Really wondering, and maybe you're in the cocoon phase, but we have the Queen and the King here who have the butterfly effect going on and carved in, right? And there's the wings with the Temperance. So, and you'll get more of a look at it when we get right into the second part, but there's this freedom maybe within your body that you feel that you haven't felt in a while, but it's so connected to how your mind works, right? It's so connected, and sometimes you can disassociate, but it doesn't mean you feel free in your body. It just means you're not paying attention to it. And you're paying attention in a way where maybe even you feel the flow and the blood in your body pump up. Maybe you're feeling nervous more, and it's allowing you to feel the heat, to feel that heat of being human, that instinctual animalistic feeling this month, which is so Sagittarius. And if you really want to tap into it, you can. You find your power source there right beneath your feet. You're able to overcome or not battle, but you're able to overcome or battle these things that have kind of racked up over time, and now you really see a way out. It's not about proving yourself either. It's just about, this is what I've noticed. If you want to listen, you can. This is what I know. If you want to listen, you can. That's the energy of the sword, the air. This also may help you break away from whatever part of you didn't feel like you were creative, or you might see an end to a certain career, a certain job, a certain passion, or a certain hobby that you once enjoyed. You may feel like you're ready to let it go, or there's a resurgence. So whichever one it is it will be really obvious to you. You'll feel it in your body. You'll feel the truth of it in your body. And when your body rings true, from what I've learned, you feel relaxed. So if you feel relaxed for letting this go, or letting this person, and maybe it includes a person, maybe it includes another breathing, living human being, maybe this, because we have the queens both reflecting each other here, maybe it's just you being reflective of what you've experienced from this person or from this specific hobby, and now you're ready to understand that everything has, or you're learning to see like everything has its time, its season, or reason. That is what they say. And if it seems to be ring true here, is that whatever this is was a season, and it may not be easy to move on or lose or not have a person like this by your side, but you know that as you grow, it causes you to recognize that you can be grateful, but these relationships may not stay the same, that these people may not stay the same, or they do stay the same, and it just doesn't translate to where you're at now. Now, in this season of Sagittarius, you can meet all kinds of people. You can meet people from your past, people from that you're just meeting now, but you can have a wide spread of who you encounter this month, and it will have you see like, it's cool that I can engage maybe, and that's that humanitarian, but in your mind, you know where you stand. You know that this is this once a year, once in a while thing that happens, but you really know where you're at, who you are, and even being around these people, you realize like, oh, I really do know myself. And maybe you give yourself credit for knowing yourself just a little bit more, because some people do, some people don't, some people think they do, but you're willing to observe and to listen and to see life for what it is right now. And you have this attention on you too for kind of presenting the change that you're going through vocally, and it doesn't get lost on anyone else's ears this month. It actually probably hits them pretty sharply, but giving people time to react, giving yourself a moment, will be always the best case scenario. There's a lot of people in this reading, so just know that if you don't have a lot of alone time this month and you need it, you need to carve it for yourself, or to have maybe one-on-one interactions. Maybe you're not feeling the big, group atmosphere, or like you're just giving yourself like one or something like that, if you're feeling that way, Aquarius. So we'll get right into the second part. And this has been a very calm reading, but I don't want you to take this, of course, too lightly. It's always up to you how you take it, though. Not, you know. All right. Everything is below. We'll see you next month, and your birthday season is coming soon.